What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben. So today when it comes to tvOS 18, I'll be happy to let you know that we have a new update. And right here, if I go into my settings, go to system and then go to where it says software update right there, you can see the current version I'm on, tvOS 18.0 with the build number 22J5315E. Now, if I go to where it says software update right there, you can see it checks for an update and I have a pop-up screen, tvOS 18 with a new build 22J5324F is now available and I want to download and install it. So if I click where it says okay, you can see the software update pane is loading and now it's pulling the update from OTA or over the air. So just give it a moment and then you'll be able to see it as it loads and updates. Right now it's taking about 4 minutes to be able to download, and you can see since I'm on a pretty fast Wi-Fi, the time is less than a minute. And so let's give it some time as it updates and then we'll update to the latest beta of tvOS 18 and get to see if there are any new features and changes worth noting. So I'm now current and up to date. Just to show you, if I go into settings and go to where it says system and go to where it says software update right there, check for an update. Your Apple TV is up to date and you can see the new build number 22J5324F. So we went from a build that ended with an E to one that ends with an F. And in terms of stability, it's more like we took a step back in the negative direction, meaning that in terms of stability, there isn't a lot that has changed, or it's more or less the same. Now, in terms of some of the new changes that are here within this update, you can see for the release notes of tvOS 18 beta 4, there's actually something that's mentioned that's probably going to change the Apple TV in a large way, and it has to do with the App Store. Here you can see on-demand resource limit were increased for tvOS 18 among iOS 18, iPadOS 18 and visionOS 2. And right here you can see the resources. If you want to read for iOS, you can go there, but for tvOS you can see how on-demand resource size limit for tvOS applications, and this isn't just for apps, it also pertains to games. You can see the before and after in-use demand resources, which is the total size of the resources of the app tags used by an app at any time, has been increased from 2 gigs to where it says no limit now. In case if you're wondering what is on-demand resource limits, I'll just show you a tab right here. So the maximum size for a tvOS app bundle is currently 4 gigs. However, using tags and on-demand resources, your app can add another 20 gigs of resources to a running app. This provides a maximum app size of about 24 gigs. But if you want to get technical and know what this means more, is that you now be able to run larger apps and games on your Apple TV with tvOS 18. And basically you can see that this means that developers can now distribute larger games without having to rely so heavily on assets downloaded on demand. And just to compare tvOS 17 and tvOS 18, with tvOS 17 apps and games could have up to 40 gigs of hosted on-demand resources, and this limit was increased to 70 gigs with iOS 18 and tvOS 18. Even though this sounds amazing, you can see that developers had been complaining about the Apple TV SDK, which only lets apps and games permanently store 500 kilobytes of data. And unfortunately, Apple hasn't said anything, and Apple hasn't updated the documentation page to be able to see or tell us whether this is something that's going to change. But they did release a few release notes when it comes to tvOS 18, the beta update that I'm on, and it does come with some resolved issues. Some have to do with voiceovers, some have to do with resolved issues in Swift UI, but there seems to be an issue with the Apple TV update that I'm currently on. So right here you can see, if you swipe through the shows that you have here on the Apple TV, it will be able to give you the rich metadata as well as a quick screenplay of the new shows that Apple is promoting. But to be specific, if you go to this show right here, the battery rate. You can see the rich metadata is not loading up properly, and at the same time the autoplay feature isn't defaulting to on, which is an issue, probably because I'm on a beta, and that's something that I'll be reporting to Apple pretty soon. When it comes to new features and changes that Apple has promised us that we haven't yet seen, we can see here we have the aerial screensaver. We also have the newly updated photos and slideshow. We have the portraits screensaver right here that has been updated, that uses some sort of machine learning, but we still haven't received the newly updated Snoopy screensaver that has Snoopy and the Beagle doing different animations. And at the same time, one of the features that I was hoping that this update would contain, or at least give us a glimpse of, is audio settings that would be able to allow us to basically change our audio incoming and format to select HDMI high bitrate output, which we have already seen on macOS, but I've gone through the audio and video settings and I haven't seen that option yet with this update, so hopefully that's something that we get to see soon. I've sent it in on the feedback assistant app on the iPhone. Something that we haven't seen yet is the 21:9 support projectors, which I don't know if I would be able to see the setting. Maybe the Apple TV will auto adjust if you are connected to a projector that has that aspect ratio. Now, the Apple TV app on Mac was recently upgraded similarly to what we've seen on the Apple TV app on tvOS, and it has a new pop-up screen and splash screen that tells you what's new, and automatic subtitles is one of the changes that it has to offer. And also there's a fix with this update where if you were to unplug your Apple TV with the previous beta 2 and beta 3, it would automatically put offline all the other Home Hub and Apple TVs that you had on your network. So if you were to just unplug your Apple TV in the living room from the network, it would automatically put all the other Apple TVs, for example, in the bedroom or in the garage, offline. But now with this update, the automatic Home Hub switching is supported and working good, and your other home devices and hubs won't be put offline for unplugging an Apple TV on tvOS 18 beta 3 or before. So basically that's about it for me when it comes to this tvOS update that you can see right here. In terms of new features and changes that are upcoming, make sure you do hit subscribe so that you don't miss out on the new features and changes that we have been promised that haven't yet been broadcast or brought forward. And in the meantime, this is Halfman Half Tech that you are watching, and this is how this tvOS 18 beta 4 update came on my Apple TV.